Kicking back on this summer breeze. Welcome to Double K's Classroom. Class is officially in session.
The following Four Aces production is for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is highly advised.
All right, y'all. What is up? What is up? What is up? It is me, Double K, back here again with you to bring you my edition of Double K's Classroom. This week, I am opening up talking about NFC and AFC Championship weekend. Well, more specific, AFC Championship game, which took place on Sunday morning. And let me tell you, man, it was a hell of a game. To say that I was bamboozled by the Bills is to say the least. This 13-3 team came in stomping, having just beat, I forgot who they beat the week before. Let's see. Divisional round. The Bills took out, after knocking off the Ravens the way that they did, 17-3. I thought for sure that they were going to at least give Kansas City a run for their money, and early on it looked like that. To be honest with y'all, Kansas City went down 9-0 at the end of the first quarter on a Bills fumble recovery on a punt, and that they turned into a touchdown and a field goal that they got on their first drive. Then Kansas City came and did what Kansas City does. 21 points in a quarter, y'all. They laid 3 touchdowns on these bad boys. All 3 were just dominant performances of Kansas City, just moving the ball down the field. Went into halftime up 21-12 and never looked back. Your final score on that game was 38-24. The Bills looked good, but that Bills defense could not hold the one and only, the spectacular Patrick Mahomes from doing what Patrick Mahomes does. And that's take fools to the house. The running game was off the hook. Le'Veon Bell really didn't do much to be bragging about being Super Bowl bound, but he's on that team, so that team is stacked. Left to right, up and down, stacked. Last year they were stacked, and this year they're even more stacked. Patrick Mahomes is still a beast. Tyreek Hill is still one of the fastest wide receivers in the market. That kid Marcel Hardman, I think his name is he had a mistake or two in the AFC Championship game, but he made up for it. Then, like I said, then you do have Le'Veon Bell. I don't know if LaShawn McCoy is still with the team or not, but you got Hyde, Clyde, or you got Carlos Edwards-Helaire, I think his name is. And that kid is a beast. Tyreek Hill went 9 receptions for 172 yards on that Bills defense, and that was a damn good defense. They were like a top 5 ranked defense statistically in the league, and yeah, they got launched on. Welcome to what the 49ers went through last year, y'all. Like, a lot of y'all think that the Niners I was one of those people that just think that the Niners just kind of gave up. But if you look at the process under which Patrick Mahomes and them boys have gone to, go 15-2? They finished the season 14-2. Now they are 16-2 on their way to their second consecutive Super Bowl. Yeah, I would say that Patrick and boys are Patrick and the boys are the real deal. Andy Reid has finally found himself the right combination of players to do some damage. Andy went to multiple NFC Championship games with Philly. I believe one Super Bowl that he lost to Bill Belichick this year. Now it's Andy's time to dominate the way that Belichick did. And let me tell you something, with the team he's got right there, as young as they are and as good as they are, they could do it. They could do it. They could really, really do it. All right, so I'm going to go off of that real quick and just do a quick update on the Golden State Warriors and where they're at as of right now. The Warriors are sitting at 10-8. They're coming off back-to-back wins over the Timberwolves, who are, sorry excuse for a team, but they lost games to the Jazz and to the Knicks. The Jazz, I understand. The Jazz are pretty much have the best record in basketball right now and on their way with, I believe, 11 straight wins. The Knicks was the loss I didn't necessarily see coming. They just got down and never were able to get back up. This team does that sometimes. But would also win since we last spoken with wins over the Spurs and the Lakers. They had a game against the Suns postponed. I guess this is the makeup game. The Suns are sitting at 8-8. They're playing them tonight on TNT. But this Warriors squad is something different. They've taken James Wiseman out of the starting lineup, inserted Kevin Looney. He has more, more veteran experience, more savvy when it comes to working that role, and Wiseman can kind of come in off the bench and just be that lightning bolt, that energy off the bench that the Warriors need a lot of the time in order to be able to win games, to be able to keep it close, so that when Steph gets back on the floor, he can just do what he does. People say Steph had it easy, and to an extent, they're right. But the reason why Steph had it easy is because he had a team that was deep enough that if he had to go sit for 6 minutes, the team could keep the game close or even garner a lead by the time he came back in, so that Steph can continue just doing what he does. Now, there has been talk of the Warriors trading with the Pelicans, Oubre Jr. for J.J. Redick and Lonzo Ball. I don't necessarily like Lonzo Ball at all, but J.J. Redick and company are all J.J. Redick and Lonzo Ball are two solid players that I would love to see come together on this Warriors squad, but not if they're giving up Oubre and not if they're giving up that Minnesota pick. I like the Warriors as they are right now. They just need to learn how to play together. I think this is a playoff team. This is a team that could possibly win a round or two in the playoffs, possibly make it back to the conference championship under the leadership of one and only Steph Curry. But we'll have to see. Oh, and congratulations to Wiseman on a new career high. Kid's only played 18 games of basketball, and he's already got a career high 25. I have a feeling that that's going to be broken multiple times before his career is over. I could see this kid going off for 30 or 40 in a game. I can't wait to see when Chris comes back, possibly next year. And that's the thing to think about. Why move anybody right now? Keep Oubre, keep Wiggins. They're both young. You got Steph and Dre as the older guys. You got Clay coming back as the older veteran guy. And then you could start a starting lineup of Steph, Clay, either Wiggins or Oubre. Probably you want to do Wiggins since Oubre is starting to learn how to run with the second crew better. Let me see, Oubre. I'll say Wiggins at the 3, and then you get Draymond and Wiseman at the 5, or you run a second team that has Oubre, Wiggins, Oubre, Wiggins, Wiseman, Marquise Chris, and either Steph or Wanamaker or somebody like that. Man, there's so much, and then you add in the fact that there's a possibility that the Warriors could have another top 5 pick. If Minnesota ends up falling to 4 or 5 in overall record, and don't end up with a top 3 pick, the Warriors end up with another top 5 player, top 5, top 10 player on the roster, plus whatever their pick is. Man, I'm telling you, this Warriors team is dangerous this year, and they're gonna be somebody to watch out for next year. Mark my words. Mark my words, and for years to come. Because if the Warriors end up with another top 5 pick and say take a young small forward, that will eventually be the man. Come on. You talking about setting us up for success for the next 5, 6, 10 years. Thank you, Joe Lacob. Thank you to Joe Lacob, and thank you to Gruber for making it happen for us Warriors fans for so many years now. Like since like 2012, 2013, this team has been competitive. With the exception for last year, they've pretty much been a playoff team every year. They had the run the 5 straight finals, bringing in Kevin Durant for a 2-year run. Like, this front office has got to be one of the top front offices for this entire decade. And I will tell you this, if they continue to build the way they're building, and think about it like this, even say the Timberwolves pick is a top 3 next year, unless they get the number 1 pick, or they get some kind of transformational player, I don't see them necessarily not being a top 10 team the next year unless they make some massive free agent signing. But they do still have D'Angelo Russell. They do still have Karl Anthony Towns. So neither one of them played during this stretch with the Warriors. I think it would have been a different game had they played. But I think the Warriors still win. Just maybe not by like 20 or 30 or 15, 20 like they were doing. But imagine that. All right, y'all. So we're going to go ahead and take that podcast promo break. And I will be back to talk a little NFC Championship game and 49ers offseason. Thank you for listening. You are listening to Double K's Classroom right here on the 4 Aces Presents Radio Network. Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
So, what's up? Steve Fingerstyles here, the host of the podcast, spelled D-A, of course. Tune in each and every week to hear what pisses me off, what angers me, what I make fun of, and of course, my crazy rants. I also have incompetent co-hosts, cool guests, and a silent producer that sucks. So what more do you need from a podcast? You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, and the Pod Bros Network. Peace.
Hey guys, this is Venice, and I've got a message from a friend of mine about my favorite podcast.
It's your boy, Flavor Flav in full effect. Check this out, everybody. I want y'all to go check out TJ.
What's good, everybody? TJ Johnson here for Voice from the Underground. I am the most handsome.
Big Hass.
And I'm smoking my cigar, of course.
You know what I'm saying? The Dutch.
You pick me up in an Uber and a PT Cruiser, I'm calling Lyft.
Because they be fighting the power, talking about social issues, politics, you know what I'm saying?
And we're not even that good.
Right, we're terrible. Terrible. Tangents all over the place.
And not only that, but they be keeping it fun with the sports, music, comics, and movies too.
Am I allowed to talk?
I think, no, not right now.
Shut up, colonizer!
You know what I'm saying? He on Twitter at VFU Podcast. So you can find them. So check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav. Yeah, boy.
Okay, what Flav was trying to say is check out Voice from the Underground on your favorite podcast network.
Voice from the Underground.
Man brain. You know you want it. You know you need it. Let me introduce you to our team of audio professionals, 100% committed to giving you the greatest extreme comedy podcast of all time.
What's SPH? I'm so super cute.
Send me your orgasmic release videos.
You can get it rootin'. You can get it tootin'. You can get it doing doughies in your yeet. Mi nombre es Tío Yeti. And you just laugh at little Hank. I ain't gonna pretend I is fresh. But looks like you might like that.
And most importantly, I'm Skullfucker. Rah! Go to manbrainpodcast.com to get orally violated. Manbrain out.
All right, and I'm back. So, y'all, all right, so now we're going to get to talking that NFC Championship game, which was held in Green Bay between two of the best quarterbacks of this recent generation, the one and only Mr. Tom Brady, the inageable Tom Brady, and the masterman trickster Aaron Rodgers. And this was a game that definitely went back and forth. Brady jumped out early to a 7-0 lead, but it was hilarious because it was 14-10 at halftime, or going in. It would look like going into halftime, and the Packers give the ball back to Brady and the boys. And man, Tom Brady hits, I believe it was Scotty Miller, for this 39-yard rainbow pass that the kid just catches in the end zone to make it 21-10 at halftime. And the momentum just shifted to Brady and the Bucs there. They've won 3 straight road games to get to the Super Bowl, including beating Drew Brees in New Orleans. They beat Alex Smith and the Redskins in Washington because they were the division winners. But in Washington, and then he beat Alex Smith and a good Washington defense in Washington. Then proceeded to march on to New Orleans and beat Drew Brees and the Saints. What did I tell y'all? If he wins this Super Bowl, this will be one of the greatest marches to a Super Bowl title that I've ever seen in my life. And then he just knocked off, with the help of his defense, knocked off Aaron Rodgers and the Packers 31-26. Now Tom Brady himself during this game threw 3 interceptions. People say, oh, well, then that means that he didn't do it. No, he still threw 3 touchdowns. Yeah, if you take those 3 interceptions off the board, they probably win by more. But if you take those 3 touchdowns off the board, they definitely lose by 15. Like Tom Brady held up his end of the bargain when it came down to it, and so did Aaron Rodgers. Aaron went for 348 and 3 TDs himself. It was really the run game, and it was really the defenses making stops at key points in the game that made the difference. Can he pull it off again against the Chiefs? That's something else to be seen right there, man. This Bucs team is hard pressed. They came in a 5 seed, like I said, played 3 road games, beat some of the. Do they have enough juice left in them to take out one more top-notch elite quarterback? Now, mind you, they've only taken out 3 elite quarterbacks, but 4 top-notch quarterbacks. I don't care what nobody says. Alex Smith is a legit QB. All right, Alex Smith is a legit QB, and and that defense in Washington really reminds me of the one in San Francisco. Which, by the way, y'all, trust me, this is going to be that much harder for Brady next year when San Francisco is fully healthy and can do their thing. But here's his shot: 10 Super Bowls. He can submit. To me, it cements his legacy as the GOAT, whether y'all like it or not, if he beats Patrick Mahomes. Because not only is that seven Super Bowl victories, but that's real talk. It's greatest Super Bowl march ever if he wins this. Ever. Not to mention the fact that the man was in the Super Bowl last year, or no, not last year, year before last with the Pats, 2 years ago, and won it. Y'all need to stop sleeping on Tom Brady. And stop comparing him to LeBron James. They both went to 10 titles, but Tom actually won 70% of the championship games he was in. Y'all need to stop it with that nonsense. Get out of here with that. All right, y'all. So I'm going to go on ahead and now focus a little bit on my hometown team. As you can see over my shoulder there, San Francisco 49ers. Right there. There's a lot of talk about them potentially trading for Matthew Stafford or Deshaun Watson, possibly even Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to say it like I'm going to say it every week, and I'm going to say it again. Do not move that number 12 pick in order to get that title or that player. Keep that number 12 pick, because I believe that there's a corner out there, whether it be Surtain or Caleb Farley, who can come in and replace Richard Sherman and give us some instant impact. To not trade away that number 12 pick. Give up Jimmy and a second rounder to Detroit for Matthew Stafford. That'll work. Somebody suggested that. I'm all for that. I love Jimmy to death, but I'm all for that. So, but do not give up that number 12 pick. It is valuable this year. So, and use the rest of them. Use the rest of them picks that we have. The other 9 picks, or maybe minus the second round pick. The other 8 picks to fill out this roster, because we're gonna have a lot of holes next year. They're gonna have a lot of holes. Odds are Verrett. I think they might be able to keep Verrett. Like, I think they're about, if they did the Stafford deal, they'd be about close to $16 million under the cap. So I think they could pull off bringing in Verrett for like 4 of that. And Verrett would be a solid anchor to add to a Farley or Surtain the third, and give us a solid defensive backfield with Ward and Tart, and then you got Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, man in the middle of the field, along with Bosa, maybe D Ford if we don't move him. Bosa, D Ford, Javon Kinlaw, Solomon Thomas is still around, and Arik Armstead, and they can beast out. That's a defense that can beast out. Trust me. Trust me when I say this. I'm not just saying this as a 49ers fan. I'm saying this as a man. Trust me. This can happen. This should happen. Like, and maybe they can even bring back like a Ziggy Ansah. Move on from I don't know how much cap room would be saved by moving on, or how much of a dead cap hit they take for moving on from D Ford, but I know his salary is like somewhere around $20 million. If they can move on for him and only take like maybe a $5 or $10 million cap hit, it would free up an extra 10-15 million or 5-10 million in cap room on top of whatever they saved from the Jimmy move and all that. So bring them to somewhere around 20 million. They could bring in like I said, they could bring back a Jason Verrett. They could probably bring back a Kilo Witherspoon, who are both free agents this year. I believe they still have Keywan Williams, who's been playing his heart out. And then you can afford to bring in a Ziggy Ansah to replace a D Ford, because I believe there's a lot of potential there. And then, like I said, you already got the linebackers there. Just draft another strong linebacker this year. This team can be decent. And then you put Stafford, go O-line with some of these draft picks too. You can use some money to bring back Trent Williams at a decent price. Shore up that offensive line. put Stafford in there and watch this team soar. They're instantaneously a playoff contender. But it's all about whether or not Lynch and Shanahan are willing to move on from Garoppolo. That's what it really boils down to. Johnny boy, Kyle, do you guys plan on moving on from Jimmy? Because this team could be amazing. But if not, then let's do what we can to protect Jimmy. Let's do what we can to see if we can make another run, because that Super Bowl last year should have been ours. Or at least we should be going back to try to get another one if it wasn't for injury. So that'll do it for me here right now. I'm going to give you one last thing before I go, and that is my Super Bowl prediction, since I won't be back on next until the week after the Super Bowl. I won't be back on until the 12th. I won't be back on until the 12th, which will be the week after the Super Bowl, so we'll be reviewing the Super Bowl. I'll give my preview now, or you can catch it on the Double K's Classroom blog, or my post where I give my prediction. It should be up within the next couple of days. So for those of y'all watching on YouTube, thank you. For those of you listening on Spreaker and all the other podcast places, thank you as well. Here we go. This year, I project that Tom Mother and Brady is going to win his 7th Super Bowl. This Bucs defense is playing out of their minds. I think that they can scheme up something to slow down Patrick Mahomes enough that Tom could put up 21-28 and be in a good place. Tom Brady, 7th Super Bowl. Bucs, let's say 35-24. 35-28, so you say. Yeah, 35-28. All right. So that's it. Hope y'all enjoy. I'll talk to y'all later. This is Double K signing out and saying class is dismissed.